Thanks for staying with us. So we have one hot gist today. So I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they were giving me this story about this couple, right? They were married in the US for some time, and they got divorced. Now, after the divorce, both of them then moved to separate states because they moved on with their lives. 5 years after, the woman's friend married her husband, her ex-husband. And then, so the wife, the woman who's been divorced, whose friend had gone to go marry her husband 5 years after, was now really sulking and, of course, was unhappy. Like, yes, she's divorced, but she then feels like the friend had betrayed her trust by going to marry her ex-husband because they seem to be happy now. So the question is it right for you to marry your friend's ex-husband?
For me, it's about loyalty. If you are my friend, on no account should you, for any reason, God forbid, marry my ex-husband.
You use all the words.
Yes, God forbid, yes. If you, because for me, for that woman to marry the ex-husband, it questions the sincerity of that friendship in the first place. It also brings the point of, were you always admiring him? Okay, sometimes you admire, you know, you can look at a man and say, oh, I like the way he treats my friend, though. But, like, there are some boundaries you must never cross. Because, genuinely, there are cases where people are separated for 5, 10 years, divorced, and they come back together. So, for any reason, you have now terminated the opportunity for that relationship to recover.
I don't agree with Tope, because, of course, I'm a Muslim. So, if you're divorced, you have to marry before you can come back and remarry. You have to taste another.
Oh, so the woman has to go and marry somebody else?
Yes, the man too has to marry someone else.
Oh, before they come back.
So it's only after they are divorced, the second time that they can remarry.
Oh, really?
So that sentiment is taken care of. Then, again, if you have moved on, why are you looking back? As you are going forward, cannot have your eyes behind you, miss your step. So while you were there, you didn't do, or you didn't work. I don't want to say you didn't do what you had to do, but it just didn't work. Let it go. And if it's the happiness of somebody else, wish them well. That's the way I see it.
If that ex-wife had found herself in another relationship, it may not really bother her as well, because she's happy, she started her own family, and now her friend is with her husband. And if they work well for each other, she may just be
Let's talk about
happy.
the awkwardness. So your late ex-husband is married to your friend, and
You have children,
and
they
you
don't
have
have
kids,
children,
they
and
have,
then you now become...
Yeah, or the father comes, he has maybe visiting days when he comes around.
And then he brings your friend.
So to avoid all that awkwardness, because the truth is, this man had seen everything you have, and now he's seeing your friend, and it's like, you feel like you're just all together in this pod.
What is important,
Is it
Maureen,
shy?
what should be important is the awkwardness on one level and your happiness. How important is the awkwardness compared to the happiness? It's just awkwardness. Awkwardness happens in different, scenarios. So just put that aside. I understand how uncomfortable it will be, but it's not necessarily such a... It's not such a bad thing that your friend and your ex-husband cannot have a happy relationship while you're happy for them. It will be uncomfortable, but it's life. And I always say, and I was saying to someone recently, if you live long enough in this world, you will see so many things.
In the worst case, at least you will broke code will be like, I'll tell you that, babe, I like this,
good. So
something is already happening. There's a bit of chemistry going on here. Do you still have interest in this man?
Permission.
Yes, that conversation should be had. And the lady would have said, the lady would have had a bit of closure before she will now feel bad about it.
When a woman shares her weaknesses with her best friend or a good friend, like, you know what, my issue is that I'm horrible in bed, and I'm clueless, I don't know what to do, my husband is not patient with me, it causes fights, I know that that's my weak point. Now I have a man who is unable to accept that, and eventually, years after, we're done. And he moves on because he wants somebody more firebrand. Okay. And I'm telling that to my girlfriend. 5 years down the line, and I find that my girlfriend now married the ex-husband.
Just flip the script.
Flip the script. So that is your problem. Okay, I'll go and learn it. I'll become the queen of it. So that when I get to this man, I know that this is what he lacked with my friend. Now, with that knowledge, as a woman, you feel hurt. That you turned my weakness into your own strength and then went after something that belonged to me. How does that make it right?
Doesn't belong to you anymore 5 years after. Doesn't belong to you anymore. You know, your husband, while you're married, knows your friend who is always talk to you to change, whose way of life is always wanted you to copy. And then when you divorce, he moves to that friend and says, okay, you don't have to change. That's who you are. And then marries her 5 years after. We're having a conversation.
So you're looking at yourself during the relationship.
That's what I'm saying. Look, you
did not help me in the relationship. You are waiting. Okay,
but they try to help you. You say you are not going to change.
How does that concern you?
You say that you're a modern woman. You're a feminist.
How does it concern you?
You can't become different.
How does it concern you?
Nobody changed you. They left you. You left on your own. You're divorced. Why are you asking the guy not to be happy? So he wants to eat his food.
Be happy elsewhere, not with my own friend.
You can't determine where his happiness will be.
Okay.
You cannot. You cannot. No, Maria, just hold on. You cannot. You're not his parents. You're not his mother. Nobody needs your approval for him to be happy.
True.
You don't have the right to sit comfortable, get your cake, and eat your cake and demand it. You're divorced from him. You're telling him you want to be happy, but this is how. No. Life cannot be giving it to you like that.
Yeah. So it's not about the woman now. Let's flip it. It's about the man. So the man. Now, you're my husband, and I come to you, and you went about to go marry her 5 years after. Now, my issue is not with her anymore because I already feel betrayed. My issue is with you.
Okay.
Why? I have been intimate with you. You and I had a thing. Yes, things didn't work out, but it's disrespectful to me that of all the women out there, you couldn't go and find an extra and somebody else. It had to be my own friend.
Okay.
That in itself is disrespectful to what we had and what we shared and our history.
Then you know how I answer. I'm sorry you feel disrespected, but my happiness is important to me, and I'm sure you want for me to be happy. I'm sorry that it's uncomfortable, that where I found my happiness is where it makes you uncomfortable, but I hope you get over your discomfort and see the bigger picture.
Can I talk?